cruising after COVID is going to change forever. We're not talking about things like social distancing and face masks. These won't be around forever. These are the 8 changes we expect to stay around after the pandemic, and you might be surprised. Stick around to see what they are. Well, ahoy there, cruisers!
Welcome to this video with us, Cruise with Ben and David. We say it every week, but guys, please make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Crazy that most of you that watch us are not subscribed. Absolutely crazy.
So number 1 is a mandate from the US government adding new regulations to law for cruise ships in 2021. It's the first time it's happened in over 10 years. How crazy is that? A few extra things are now required on every single cruise ship. The first is that there has to be a doctor on board at all times. And then something must be added to the muster drill to give details of the medical centre and the doctor, as well as the location of the medical centre. Next, surveillance cameras must be installed in every single public area on board, and the footage must be kept for a minimum of 20 days. Most cruise lines are actually doing this already and have a doctor on board, but now it's law, so every single cruise line must do this. And really, it's a win-win as it makes cruising safer for everybody.
Number 2 is about vaccinations. Most cruise lines are requiring a vaccination to travel on cruises, and we can see this becoming even more common. Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, P&O, Cunard, Princess and more are requiring the vaccine before you board a cruise. Some cruise lines are allowing people on board that can't have the vaccine, including children, whilst others like P&O Cruises, Princess and Saga have a strict no vaccine, no sail policy. You may even have to have an immunity passport or card to travel on a cruise. Things will change into the future though, but for at least the next year, 2 or maybe even 3 years, we think it will be a requirement for most cruise lines to require proof that you've had the vaccine. So far, MSC is the only cruise line not requiring vaccines. They just require a negative COVID test before departure.
Number 3 is much cleaner air. We know we've seen a lot of comparisons with aircraft. Well, you're going to be really pleased to hear that most cruise ships are now using new filter and air technology, as well as brand new air purification technology. Some cruise lines are even installing UVC technology to kill all bacteria and viruses. And there's also one company developing an indoor cleaning system that can zap away 99.9% of airborne COVID-19 virus particles from any indoor space within 30 minutes. Crazy. Royal Caribbean says that its HVAC system continuously supplies 100% fresh, filtered air from outdoors to all indoor spaces. This continual intake of fresh air replaces the air in any space with a total air change up to 12 times an hour in staterooms and about 15 times an hour in large public areas. This is really good and making them just as safe as aircraft. And most ships have been retrofitted during the pandemic, so they've used this time really wisely. One of the best ways to combat any illness is better air circulation. So like we said on planes, the airflow will be much better. This video is sponsored by our friends at Skillshare. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people like me and you, on loads of different topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing and much more.
It's been so satisfying to learn new skills during this extended downtime while we're not cruising. Now is really the time to learn something new.
We've been taking classes to improve our video editing. There's all levels of classes from beginners to pros. Classes are short and to the point, teaching you the skills that you need to know.
One class that we really like is video editing with Adobe Premiere Pro for Beginners by Jordi Vanderput.
It's so fantastic for anybody starting out editing. If you're starting up a YouTube channel or just want to make your cruise videos and family memories a little bit better. You can learn all the skills needed to really impress your friends and family. And because we're working with Skillshare, the first 1,000 of our subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity.
There's no adverts and new classes have been added all the time. And after the trial ends, it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription.
That's great. Now back to the show.
Number 4 is a new approach to dining on board. We think we're going to say goodbye to self-service buffets. This is always something that we've had an issue with, and it's clearly the area where you'll be most likely to pick up an illness. We've witnessed people drop tongs and put them back, as well as picking up food with their hands and then replacing the food. it's disgusting. We've mentioned this on a video before. We actually witnessed a guy pick up a piece of food, look at it and go, no, I don't want that, and then replace it. Shocking. Oh, snap. We did not rehearse that. Buffets will now only be handled by trained crew members. You will point out what you want and then they will serve it for you. So there'll be no more people touching tongs and then moving on to something else. Same goes for self-service ice cream. It'll be served to you from a crew member instead of you helping yourself. Don't worry about this, guys. This is just like going into a cafe saying, I want that piece of cake. No, I want the whole cake. You know, they'll still hand it to you. Just think of all the people that touched them tongs and did not wash their hands. And we have seen that too, with people walking straight out of the bathrooms after doing their business and not washing their hands. So this is going to be, in our opinion, one of the best changes. And we don't think we'll see it come back anytime soon. Maybe it'll never come back, who knows.
So number 5 are some of the protocols that will outlast the pandemic. Health and safety is the biggest issue on board, and that's going to be at the forefront of everything. With better cleaning protocols, they're going to be very stringent. There's also going to be emergency contingency plans in place and better medical facilities with extended things like better equipment, medication. They're basically going to be onboard hospitals with doctors and nurses. So the lack of preparation for emergency procedures of things like illnesses on board was something that was lacking a little bit at the beginning of the pandemic. This won't happen anymore. They will be fully prepared for everything. You're also going to see extra cleaning and sanitizing stations and more wash stations around the ship as well. That's something that's going to be a big thing now.
Number 6 is the return of the health screening. Now, this is something that used to happen, but before the pandemic, it was sort of getting less and less, and it was more of a thing you signed, and then it was you didn't sign it, it was sort of implied, so it kind of got forgotten about. But I think now it's going to come back to the forefront, and we already know that when cruise does return, you will have to fill out a health card saying that you feel well and you do not have any symptoms of sickness. We think the health card is going to be back to stay, and you're going to have to fill it out before you even get on the ship. We might even see temperature checks in port stick around after the pandemic. And if you lie on your health declaration card, if you say you feel well when you don't feel well, there could be big legal consequences. I'm from New York now. Yes, I'm a New York lawyer. Yeah, guys, there could be big legal consequences. We've already heard from cruise lines that they are taking these health cards very seriously now, so you should never ever lie on that health declaration.
So 7 is breakouts on board. We've mentioned this a little bit earlier, but if there is any breakout of viruses or illnesses on board, the action will be very, very swift. All the cruise lines are going to have really in-depth and strict procedures that will be put into place. You're probably even going to be locked down in your cabin if this happens. You may need to be tested, temperature checks taken again, and the ship will probably return straight to port. But don't worry too much, because all of the cruise lines that we're talking about, most of them anyway, need the vaccine, and the vaccine may only be like 70 to 90% effective in stopping COVID at all, but it's 100% for the Moderna, 100% for the AstraZeneca, and something like 98.7% for the Pfizer vaccine in stopping any type of severe illness or hospital admission. So it's probably not going to be a serious thing, but they're going to do everything they can to stop the spread on board. And this links on quite nicely to the next point, because you're probably going to want to pick a certain type of cabin.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 8 is all about cabins. People will probably want to stay in balcony cabins just in case the slim chance that you do have a lockdown on your ship. So this means that more people booking them means that they're going to become more expensive. It's a supply demand, guys. They could be selling out even quicker, and staying in a cabin with access to fresh air will be the top of most cruisers' agenda. At first anyway, when cruising does first resume. Most people do not want the possibility of being stuck in an inside or an ocean view cabin with no fresh air if things do go wrong. Most cruises right now are not even selling ocean view or inside cabins. You can only book a cabin with a balcony, but of course, as things do return back to normal, other cabins will open up to be booked. But this could see a change in cabins on future cruises. Could we see more cruise lines putting more balcony cabins on their ships and relying less on inside cabins? It was already a trend that was happening before. Princess's newest ships are almost all balcony cabins anyway, so I think that'll just elevate that trend that was happening.
Personally, we would pick a balcony cabin at this time anyway, at least for the next year or two, just at the threat that you could get locked down. It's really not going to happen. It really isn't not going to happen very often, but just in case. Thank you so much for watching this episode. We really appreciate it. If you think anything else is going to be sticking around, please do let us know in the comment section below. We love to hear from you, and please do hit that subscribe. It really helps us out. And a big thank you to all of our patrons as well. You guys are amazing. You really help support us during this really rough pandemic, and we give you loads in return, like behind the scenes footage, extra episodes and postcards when we're away. The captain of the week is Mike. So ahoy there, Mike.
Thank you as well to our sponsor, Skillshare. Please click the link in the description section below to take a look at Skillshare. Sponsors on this channel keep this content free for you to enjoy, so we do give them a big thank you.
That's it till next time. Happy cruising.